we got Dom picks this time for the NBA Conference Finals. We got OKC, led by SGA, going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves, led by Ant-Man, yeah, that's him. Then out east, we got Jalen Brunson, clutch player of the year, leading the New York Knicks, going up against the Indiana Pacers, led by Tyrese Haliburton. Let's start off with the Western Conference Finals. I love this matchup. We're getting the two best young players of this generation, SGA, Ant-Man. These are guys who are going to lead their team to future conference finals, future NBA finals, but all that matters is right now. And the time is there for them to grab that opportunity and punch their ticket to the NBA finals. Both of these teams are evenly matched, I feel. I give the slight edge to OKC because of their defense, and we saw that on full display against Denver in Game 7. One concern I want to note is that in the previous series for Minnesota, they had stretches where they were not taking care of the ball. They had some dumb turnovers, and if they do that against OKC, they will not last long. This Thunder team thrives in creating chaos in the form of deflections, getting steals, getting out in the fast break. I am intrigued by the front court. I believe that could be a factor in who wins this series. For the Wolves, you got Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert, Naz Reid, and then for OKC, you really got Hardenstein, the other Jalen Williams, and then obviously Chet. Whichever front court could be productive and give their team meaningful minutes, I believe can largely influence this series. For Ant-Man, I'm very confident that he's going to get his. It's just going to be whether or not he gets his comfortably and efficiently, or if he's going to have to work, it is going to be a grind to get those 25 or 30-point outings. Keep in mind, OKC has a ton of defenders that can run at him. In particular, I believe Alex Caruso can give Ant some trouble. Caruso has championship experience. We saw that on full display in Game 7. And with that leadership, I believe he could take on that challenge and be one of the primary defenders on Anthony Edwards. And then on the other side, Jaden McDaniels. We know his defensive talent. Can McDaniels make it difficult on SGA? Because we've seen throughout this postseason, SGA's been able to get to his spots and been able to cash out. It's important for Jaden McDaniels to avoid getting in foul trouble, because we know SGA is very talented in getting to the line. And in doing so, he needs to make sure every look is going to be tough. I'm expecting Jaden McDaniels to pick him up full court. He did that against Luka back in round 1. He would have done some stuff had he played the entirety of round 2. And I'm expecting that to continue here in round 3 against SGA. And I mentioned how great that Thunder defense is, but let's not underestimate the Minnesota Timberwolves defense. This is a unit that's locked in, especially here in the postseason, and they can make it difficult. We saw in a lot of games during that Denver series, the supporting cast from Oklahoma, they struggled to knock down their open shots. If they do that here, I believe that's advantage Minnesota, because we know Naz Reid can score. We know DiVincenzo's a great shooter, even though I feel he's been rushed in his looks, but that's another conversation for another day. Jaden McDaniels is taking on some more aggression as a scorer. I feel more comfortable in what to expect from that Wolves supporting cast compared to Oklahoma. Make no mistake about it, that supporting cast in OKC is still elite as well. Their depth is a large reason for why they're here right now and why they came close to winning almost 70 games. This is going to be a phenomenal series. This will be a 7-game series. Make no mistakes about it. It could go either way. I'm going to lean with Anthony Edwards in the Minnesota Timberwolves. And that's because when you look at Ant's resume in the postseason, he's taken down so many greats. KD, Bron, Luka, Jokic last year in a 7-game series. Ant-Man is in his bag, and although he doesn't want to be called the face of the league, he is the face of the league. Because when you're a dog like that and you bring the intensity every series, every night, you become that face. A tidbit that I found very interesting was that Minnesota, this young core, they found themselves in a similar situation that the young core of the Thunder find themselves in this year. That this being their first conference finals. And the Wolves underperformed. They flopped. They lost in 5 games to a Dallas team that was great, but the way Minnesota played last postseason, I was expecting a 7, no less than 6-game series out of them, even if they did lose. I believe the Wolves come out hungry, looking for redemption, and that will lead to them coming out of the West and going to the NBA Finals. Now for the Eastern Conference Finals, this is another matchup in which I'm expecting a 7-game series. This is an old rivalry dating back to the Reggie Miller, Patrick Ewing days, and even last season when these two teams collided in the second round. For the Pacers, They are legitimate contenders. I don't care that the Bucks and the Cavaliers had injuries at some point during that series. This Pacers team is dominant on both ends of the floor. Offensively, they play at their own pace. And when they play at that high tempo, they are almost unguardable, unstoppable. Defensively, they ramped up the intensity. Going back to last year where they weren't great at all defensively, you flip that on its head this year. You bring in Siakam, who even myself forgot how talented he is defensively. You bring him in for a full training camp, a full year. And then you get Benedict Mathurin back, someone who's athletic, someone who can guard the perimeter. On top of having Nesmith, Nembhard, Miles Turner protecting the rim. This is a great defense who play with intensity now on that side as well. And let me not forget that this is a team that has 5, 6, sometimes even 7 guys who can give you double figures in scoring. And on average, I believe there's 6 players right now in this postseason run who are averaging double-digit scoring. Tyrese Haliburton has been phenomenal in this postseason. He's done a great job of balancing being a scorer and a facilitator. And if he can do that in this series, the Pacers reaching the NBA Finals becomes more likely. And then I look at the New York Knicks. This is a team that not many people saw them being in this position. Nonetheless, they're here, they're hungry, and they have the chance to once again reach the NBA Finals. Although I give the Pacers the team overall advantage, I will say the Knicks on paper have the 2 best players in the series, and Jalen Brunson and Cat. Jalen Brunson, we know what we're going to get from him. In the postseason, he is him. There's a reason why he was named Clutch Player of the Year, because Jalen Brunson thrives when the lights get brighter. Now on the other end, can Cat stay out of foul trouble? I love my guy Cat. There's a reason why he is the self-proclaimed best big man shooter in the game, and he can have that offensive impact if he can find a way to stay out of foul trouble. I do believe in this series, Miles Turner, who has a balanced inside and out attack offensively, he can probably avoid those fouls, but it's going to be imperative that he does that because Cat, when he's on one offensively, this Knicks team takes the next step. Supporting cast-wise, we know we're going to get something offensively, defensively, or sometimes even both from Mikal, OG, and Josh Hart. Outside of those 3, who are a part of the starting 5, what other contributions can they get off of the bench? Depth has been a problem for the Knicks all season long. You have Deuce McBride. We know he can be the 6th man. He can give you some offense. He's a great defender on the perimeter as well. What else can you get from your bench? Can Precious Achiuwa, can he give you some minutes? Because this Indiana Pacers team, their greatest strength this postseason has been their depth. They're getting contributions from multiple guys. You're going to need that if you're New York. You need some minutes from other guys. Mitchell Robinson, as long as he stays healthy and he knocks down those free throws, we know he can contribute. But can one more guy step up? Because a 7-man rotation will make it more difficult to knock off the Indiana Pacers. With all that being said, my Dom pick for who I have coming out of the Eastern Conference and going to the NBA Finals, I'm going to take the New York Knicks in 7. And for me, the difference maker is Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is a superstar, and he has handled the pressure greatly out in New York. It's not easy to play professional sports in New York, guys. So I believe Jalen Brunson will rise to that occasion. To me, this is going to be a tough, grinded out series, but I believe having that home court advantage in the Game 7 will propel the New York Knicks to the NBA Finals.